Welcome, Hudson Valley, to this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. This week, we speak with Dan Stahl, president of the Stahl Family Scholarship. We discuss how the scholarship is aimed to help schools and small businesses grow through the Dream Shop Scholarship. We also speak with Nora Callahan from Pine Bush High School and Anita Kiewra from HRH Made, representatives of 2 Hudson Valley Scholarship recipients. We invite you to listen to a previously recorded conversation between Dan, Nora, Anita, and myself here on In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to another episode of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. And we got a really special episode for you guys today. With us is Dan Stahl, president of the Stahl Family Small Business Scholarship. Earlier this year, one Hudson Valley business and one Hudson Valley school were awarded a terrific scholarship, the Stahl's Dream Shop Scholarship. It's doing a lot to better the community, so I'm really excited to get into this. Dan, how are you today?
Oh, wonderful. How you doing?
Doing very good. Now, I think the first thing that we should really address here, for those who are unfamiliar, could you tell us a little bit about Stahl's, what it is as a company and the mission and where it came from?
Well, actually, it was started by my great-grandparents back over 90 years ago in just a small Detroit garage. And over the years, we've had the pleasure of working with large brands, whether it's the NFL or Nike, but really small businesses have really been our most loyal and dedicated customers. The Stahl Family Scholarship was launched in 2021 with the goal of supporting aspiring entrepreneurs, as well as just up-and-coming business owners in the apparel or apparel decorating industry. Well, throughout the pandemic, we noticed there was, a lot of people lost their jobs or they're working from home. They wanted to supplement their income. And there's really no easier way than decorating apparel or bags or whatever it may be. And so we kind of launched the scholarship in order to help businesses get their roots started, just get it, some type of foothold.
Now, in the 2 years that you've been doing this scholarship, what have you seen from the businesses that you guys have been able to help support?
Stahl's has this, significant background in education where, the more successful our customers are, the more successful we are. So just providing, whether it's our thousands and thousands of YouTube videos, they're not necessarily just on our products, but it's what are new spirit trends? What are the new colors that people are looking for? And just trying to help our customers become as successful as possible.
We love being able to see growth, and one thing that we always say here with In Touch, it's very hard to grow alone. Now, when it comes to In Touch, we have a lot of Hudson Valley or New York-based businesses, but you guys located out in Detroit, and you guys work internationally. You mentioned some big brands right there. Could you tell us about the scope that this scholarship has when it comes to helping out businesses, schools all over the place?
Well, it's really just trying to find the right fit for businesses. And a lot of it's, as I said, with our education, just explaining them all the different decoration methods. Where a lot of people, yes, you can win a heat press and materials, but it's really the education and the on-site training that we do so they can set up their shop the right way the first time, make a lot of the mistakes that people do make.
Can you go into some of that on-site training for us for a moment?
Yes, so we have them send some pictures and we send out 2 or 3 individuals where they literally show them, here's the best way to load a shirt on a heat press. Different ways, whether it's depending on what they want to actually decorate, helping them find the right equipment or the right materials, as well as just the best ways to actually do it. And a lot of it, whether it's the schools, sometimes students aren't quite so comfortable using a heat press. We try and make them as comfortable as possible so they can become successful and enjoy it.
Is it like a program that you send over for them to learn and to teach from? Or do you actually send representatives over to help out with the people, the students, the clients in those cases?
No, normally it's our sales rep in the area, and there might be one other person where they're going on site. And it's kind of customized and tailored to whatever they really want to achieve and help them grow.
Oh, that's great. So you're able to meet all these different schools and organizations where they are then and able to build and grow from there. When it came to the first quarter of 2023, I think this is so cool that you guys were able to recognize 2 Hudson Valley organizations, one being a business and one being a school. Hudson River Housing Made, which is a workforce training social enterprise in Poughkeepsie, and then the Pine Bush High School as well that you're able to look into. I'm just curious, out of the first thing I really want to ask about that, out of the grand scope of all the places that you could have chosen, how come for the first quarter, both of them were chosen from the Hudson Valley area. That just seems so amazing and mind-blowing that both of them were chosen from our area here.
Yes, I mean, it's really, when people apply for the scholarship, it's really about the story and what they want to achieve. It's not necessarily, oh, we're already selling $10,000 or $30,000 of stuff. It's really where they are, their story, and how they want to grow. Actually, previously it was only for businesses, and then this past year we opened up where there's two different winners. One is a school, as one is a business, where we noticed there were a lot of schools applying for the previous years. And there's no better way to help students, one, just get their hands dirty and start working with a heat press. And it's, as I said before, it's one of the easiest ways to create a business. And, in these days, everyone wants personalization and to show what, how they feel. And it's trying to get those students educated that, yes, there is a business you could create after school if possible.
No, that's really terrific. And I'm glad that you guys were able to implement that. When it came to choosing this, we can take this one at a time, and however much you're able to speak on this. What was it, a part of that story, that made you interested in choosing Hudson River Housing Made for this scholarship?
I think it was just kind of the way they're helping the homeless and people with employment barriers. And it's extremely heartfelt. From what we could tell, they're an extremely well-run organization, and just trying to see how we can help them. And, as I said, their story, where there's actually a selection committee of 3 independent people in the industry that select the winners. And for Pine Bush, it was really, they had a good, strong art program. And they were trying to expand upon it and just build more school spiritware.
So one thing that all of this is really making me wonder about in this very capitalistic regime that we have here in North America, you guys are supplying all these schools and businesses with the materials. So essentially, they won't need you like for an order or something, so they can be self-sufficient. It goes against a lot of, the capitalistic mindset, but it's a very altruistic mindset. And could you walk us through that mindset of just simply helping for the sake of helping?
Part of our mission is really just to create confident and capable apparel decorators. Stahl's was started in a garage, and it wouldn't be without our successful customers and being loyal to them, where it's customer service, education, where a lot of the customer service people that work for us, they're not actually taking orders, but they're answering questions. And it's just helping them become, as I said, become successful and confident enough that they start to learn, be on their own.
In a way, it sounds like you guys are more of an education-based company than you are like a textile at that point, where you're really going out of your way to help people, and that's terrific.
We're always trying to make it, what's the easiest way for the customer to place an order? What's the easiest way to help the customers? In as I said, our videos, you can learn all different fashion trends. Yes, you can learn, about our different materials, but it's really just educating them so they can become as successful as they hopefully can.
You've mentioned the videos before. Can you tell us about the videos that you guys put out and where people can find those videos?
Stahl's YouTube channel, as well as every other social media channel. There's always a new one coming up every other day, it seems like.
Amen, right?
But then, you can sort through them. And we've combined our Stahl's TV with our YouTube, where it's, you can search for literally anything, and they're all classified by different categories. Just trying to make it as easy as for the customer as possible. Most people don't want to watch a 30-minute video, but they'll certainly watch a 5 or maybe 10-minute one.
Dan, I really appreciate everything that you've been saying to us today. I'm glad that you guys are able to help out so many amazing businesses. Can you tell me where people can go to nominate their school or business?
Yes, it'd be stahls.com / I believe it's Stahl Scholarship, where for the rest of this year, there'll be 2 winners, as I said before. One is a school, one is a business. And we're certainly, welcome for anyone to apply. Hopefully they can win. And it's always, heartwarming when we announce or, let the winner know on a Zoom call where, we say it's just, to follow up and get some more questions, and they're in tears, and it's rather amazing.
Do you have any recommendation or pointers on what you guys are looking for? Obviously, you mentioned the story, but is there anything they should think of when they are applying?
I would just think of where you're at now, where you want to grow. What are your dreams? Basically, the scholarship was created to help customers fulfill their dreams. So I would just tell your story in an honest, open way.
Oh, that's terrific. Dan, again, thank you so much for being here on In Touch. Any last words, comments, nuggets for the Hudson Valley community about Stahl's, about the scholarship, anything in particular?
I would just support the two winners that won and do the best they can in supporting their community.
Absolutely. And again, all the links and information will be linked in the description of this episode. Everything that Stahl's is doing is terrific and so altruistic and so beautiful in being able to help communities grow. Dan, I really appreciate your time and thank you for being here on In Touch.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, everybody. Right now, I am speaking with Nora Callahan, teacher and business department chair at Pine Bush High School, one of the recipients of the Stahl Family's Small Business and Dream Shop Scholarship. Really happy to speak with you about this, and I'd love to hear what's going on since receiving the scholarship. First of all, could you tell us about the program at Pine Bush High School that this scholarship is benefiting?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. We at Pine Bush High School, our business department, which is very small, just me and one other teacher, we're really trying to bring students into our courses and give them real world experience. I could talk all day about what the business world is. We could read textbooks, we could have guest speakers, but when you do it, it's when you really learn, right? You get a new job, you're like, I know I should know this. And then after a week, you're like, okay, I did it. I get what I'm doing. I can do this. So we're trying to give kids a taste of the real world so they can make better decisions for, where they want to go in the future, what they want to do. So we started our school store, our spirit shop. We tried to kill two birds with one stone. We said, we're going to give kids real world business experience. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want to go out and work in the business world. Here's a real taste of the kind of stuff you deal with. And then on the other side, too, we thought, after COVID, our school spirit was like so low. Kids were they hadn't been in school. There were new students, never met anybody. So we wanted to boost school spirit. We created this spirit shop where we, created Pine Bush High School apparel that we could sell. And we try to keep the prices low enough so that, kids can afford to have, rock some Pine Bush High School gear while we're learning how to be business people. So that is what the scholarship benefited. We got, amazing equipment we would never be able to get otherwise to create stuff that, we're just at the tip of the iceberg now. Like when they came in and trained us, we were like, oh my God, we can do all that. So this next year is going to be really big for us.
That's incredible. And yeah, that was something that I remember talking with Dan about, how it's not just receiving some kind of lump sum of money. You guys got some kind of training as well, very hands-on and very personal. Can you tell us about that training that you guys went through and what kind of stuff you guys are expecting to be able to do now with this upcoming year?
Absolutely. We had a woman named Liz came in. It was a really fun day for her and for us. We got a hat press, we got a heat press that you can make all kinds of shirts and hoodies and other things with. But she came in and she brought all kinds of materials that we had never worked with before. And she told us the nuances and how to use the equipment and how to really properly, little tricks for, things that would take you 100 YouTube videos and ruining 50 shirts to figure out. And she really got our creative juices going, stuff where we can make things out of different materials. I mean, Pine Bush is the UFO capital of the East Coast, so we found this really cool design. So next year we're going to roll out some alien gear. So we can be more creative than we ever thought, which is awesome because in the business world, it's that marriage of creativity, but also knowing what people want and then also monitoring your costs. So we kind of get to put all those things together. And, for kids in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, to be able to say, well, we want to design something and then we're going to make it. And our classmates, we're anticipating they're going to buy it. I mean, it doesn't really get more real world than that.
Based on what you're saying, combining that business side with the creative side, I'm sure that probably bringing in a lot of different students of different careers and wants. You probably have the more artsy side, those who are taking all the art classes, or those 11th, 12th graders, those who are looking for business colleges or something. You're probably marrying all that. How did the students now get involved in this program there at the school?
So right now I run the Finance Academy, which is a club, and the students in the Finance Academy are the ones that work in the store. Given all our new abilities with all our new equipment, I have had some conversations with our art department chair talking about, whether we bring students in to our club or whether we kind of create a partnership like you would in a business, reach out to the art club or the Art Honor Society and say, hey, we need somebody to design this, and work together and then profit share, whatever we're going to do, basically create a deal, which is how all that works. You see partnerships and just watching, I was at the movies last week and just seeing like product placement and you think, well, these are deals, right? And this is what the business world's about. So I'm envisioning this next year really reaching out and kind of saying, hey, how would you like to work with us? Do you want to join us? Do you want to, just create ad hoc project-based stuff? And it could be both. It's almost like we have so many choices now. It's a little overwhelming, but that's always a better spot to be in than going like, oh, we can't make this work.
Like a very positive problem to have. But everything that you're describing is very real world. And it's great to be able to get that experience early on. Now, when it comes to store, I'm curious, is it completely just a physical store, or is there a way for like friends and family of those going to Pine Bush that they could order something, or UFO enthusiasts now if they want to order something? Is there
I feel like
anything
that's a
in
great
place for
untapped
that
market
now?
we're going to get into there. We do have a physical store in the school. Also we created for kids that don't like come in our area very much because I'm like upstairs in the corner. They can order online and we deliver to them. But we're also working on our Square site so that we can have community members. We've had a few people order and then pick up. And this year, we're actually really hoping that we can roll out something where we can, if people, I had a couple of alumni email me and say, hey, I live in, wherever now, but I'd love to have a hoodie. I never got one when I was in high school. So we're working on coming up with like a shipping mechanism as well. So that's some other stuff we want to roll out this year. But my goal here too is because I was like working on it over the summer and then I'm like, no, is that I really, and it's worked well so far, the students are running the show. Like they are the ones, and it's funny because it just makes me feel so old because they will come up with stuff and say, what if we made this? And I'd be like, yeah, okay, go ahead. And then it sells like crazy. And I'm like, what if we made this? And they're like, nobody's going to buy that. But I'm really trying to sit back and let them make their mistakes, let them plan out and anticipate. Because again, think sometimes business people or, people like when you're a kid or a young person, you think, oh, adults have it all figured out. And really, it's how much trial and error I still use on a daily basis. So like, that's a real taste of how your life's going to be.
Amen. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on day to day. So
right.
I'm with you there. That's so cool that they have this opportunity. And it sounds like so much has been bolstered because of this scholarship now, probably new things that you wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And that's terrific. Is there any last little nugget that you want to share with our In Touch audience about everything that's going on with the scholarship and everything that's going on with the school store on the business side now?
First, just like to thank Stahl. That I wouldn't think I filled out the application and I was stunned and how personally they treated me and how quickly we got the equipment and the training. It was phenomenal. And my students were so grateful. And really just, and I think our school's doing it. Our administrators are working on this. We have other programs too, where we're just trying to, if you own a business and you would want students to intern or come see, or you want to talk to a class, to reach out to your local school of business people. I plan on reaching out to my community more and having those conversations, because that little slice of reality really does a lot for students. And what we're trying to do with the store, give people real world experience, but also just kind of be there for any kid. If you're a kid that wants to go to business school, cool. If you're a kid that wants to go to trade school and you're going to pick up some skills and learn something, great. We're trying to let people see everything so that they can make, so they're not drowning in student loan debt, going to school to do something that they're like, oh wait, I don't like this. So, which some of us have been there, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's my final thoughts on that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Nora. I can't wait to hear what's going to happen with everything you have planned in this new school year coming up. And again, thank you very much for sharing your side of this whole scholarship fund. This is fantastic, and I'm so excited for you guys.
Thank you so much for having me and getting the word out about us.
Hello, Hudson Valley. Again, thank you for tuning in to this episode of In Touch. Right now, I'm speaking with Anita Kiewra, Care Manager, Employment Specialist of Hudson River Housing Made, one of the organizations that received the scholarship from the Stahl Group. And really excited to be speaking with you. And also, by the way, Anita Kiewra was one of my former teachers. So this is really great to be able to connect this way. So, Anita, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Connor.
Super happy to hear that everything's going so well with Hudson River Housing Made. I'm glad that you guys got this scholarship, and I'm glad that things will be able to continue to succeed and progress. For the people out there who are listening who are unaware of what Hudson River Housing Made is, could you give us a little overview, please?
Sure. We kind of refer to it as HRH Made. It's a social enterprise, a workforce training social enterprise that is run under the auspices of Hudson River Housing. It's a program where people who've experienced homelessness and housing insecurity who aren't working or aren't working full-time can come in to work with me here in the Puff Studios. They learn how to print here, but that's not the biggest part of it. They learn the soft skills of going to a job, and I work with them about their career goals or their working goals, their earning goals. We work together to develop a plan for them to be able to put things together and move on. So HRH Made, we have a variety of products, but the main product that we have is helping people get back to work and get back into community after they've had the trauma of losing their housing.
That is a very big product right there, to be able to access to people in the Hudson Valley. What kind of scope do you have when it comes to the Hudson Valley? How broad of a range are you working with when it comes to people of geographical areas, since the Hudson Valley is pretty broad?
Well, Hudson River Housing predominantly works in Dutchess County, but we do kind of encompass other communities within the Hudson Valley. You know, we occasionally work in Ulster and Orange County. We sometimes have some connections up in Columbia County. Predominantly, we are in Poughkeepsie. Most of the folks that I work with are actually coming from places within Poughkeepsie, not too far away because they have to be able to get here. With HRH Made, the work in the studio happens here right in Poughkeepsie. And what people make are t-shirts and hats and different kinds of gear that Hudson River Housing wears for staff uniforms, or that we sell for merchandise, or we sell to other places. We did 500 shirts for Arlington Central School District summer camp. We do anything from like 1 or 2 pieces to hundreds. We did 3 summer camps this summer. We've done a couple of them in the last few summers. I just quoted today another one. Whatever size the project is, we can take it on. We also have a line of product called Upcycle. We started as under the name Upcycle. And what we were upcycling first was a slate that was from the roof of the underwear factory. When the renovation happened, we salvaged the slate from the renovation, and it got cut down to be the size of coasters and trivets. Oh, wow. And so we finished those and we put logos on them, and we have a cork backing on them that's printed, and it's a really beautiful product that you can own a little piece of history. But the Stahl Family Scholarship really affected our garment printing the most. So I saw it in an email from Stahl saying that they were doing this and how to apply. And I thought, well, it would be a great thing for our studio here to have the equipment in the studio, both for HRH Made to use, and also here at the underwear factory, we have the second floor is the Poughkeepsie, is Puff Studios. So it's the Poughkeepsie Underwear Factory Studios community printmaking studio. And the community print studio, anybody who's a printmaker or wants to learn and take some classes or something can be a member. They can come in and use the equipment here to do screen printing, to do intaglio, which is etching and embossing, kind of relief printing. And then we have the heat presses, we have a 3D printer, we have a bunch of equipment. So people can join us and then come in and use the studio. And the rates are very reasonable. People in 12601 can join for an annual membership of $20 a year.
Wow.
If you're anywhere else, from anywhere else outside of 12601, it's $30 a year. And then you use the studio at your will for $5 an hour. So it's very reasonable. We have probably about 40 members at this point, and the studio is being used at different hours by different people. So if you wanted to do an art project, you could come in here and set up and work for a few hours and get your project done. The community print studio also benefits from the equipment being here. We were able to do the project for Arlington School District so much faster as a heat press project than as a screen print project. That really enabled me to efficiently get the work out the door. It was a really nice effect because otherwise it would have taken a lot longer, probably about 2 or 3 times as long to do it. It was a fairly simple, straightforward one, but the equipment also allows us to do some fancier things. We have a studio member who just wanted to start printing or pressing embroidered patches onto karate uniforms. And so she's come in and we just did a trial run with her project, and she's going to be printing about 20 of these, I think. And she should be able to walk out with her project all finished within a couple of hours. Probably about 3 hours is what I'm estimating it's going to take her to do all the patches on all the pieces that she wants to do. We had another really unique project where a local artist came in with a photograph that he wanted to be transferred onto fabric to make a jacket out of. So he's got a tailor all lined up to do the jacket. We were able to get the transfers of the photographs large enough and transfer that to the fabric. And then he took the fabric with the photo on it to his tailor, and his tailor is constructing the jacket. And that's a really cool piece because it's of a graffiti artist, a street artist work that he's going to London to speak for a gallery and do a presentation about that artist's work. And he's going to be wearing this really cool jacket with that artist's work on it.
Wow.
So, there's projects like that as an artist and sort of problem solver kind of person, it's really a fun challenge to take those on. But the equipment really makes a difference that we are able to do this kind of work.
And one thing I was talking with Dan Stahl about is not just the equipment with everything, but the training that goes along with it. Can you go into how they worked with you with the training and what that means for using the equipment and for yourself and for the members?
That makes a big difference. The trainer came in here and spent about 4 hours with us, which was plenty of time to absorb what we had, learn how to use it, learn how to program everything because it's all electronically programmed, which is really cool. I can have an intern or somebody come in and not mess up the project because the equipment is programmed so well. The training and the support from Stahl is really terrific. Yesterday, when I was looking at how am I going to help this person press the logo onto the karate uniform, I was able to call up and talk with somebody and talk our way through it, make sure that we were doing it right. And now she's coming in tomorrow and we're going to make a template for her to be able to use to position everything correctly. And then she'll be off and running. And just that support and that knowledge, learning how to use the stuff right, the equipment and all the attachments and everything correctly, that's really major. The work that it puts out is really beautiful. The different kinds of transfers and things that we can make here in the studio to use it for.
That's so good to be able to hear that, the training and the learning. And that's one of the biggest things, learning, to be able to continuously learn and develop and to see where things are blossoming into. That's awesome. Anita, thank you again so much. Is there one last little nugget that you want to share about the process, about the scholarship, about what you guys are doing as a mission that you want to share with our In Touch audience before we close this out?
Yeah, well, this just has made it possible for HRH Made and Puff Studios to be able to offer people an opportunity to create really beautiful things that they can be proud of having made. It's a great tool to have in our toolbox here at the studio and has already made a difference in terms of our bottom line and in terms of our studio members' bottom lines. I mean, when the artist was out looking for somebody to do this, he was expecting to pay a lot of money to have this done. And it turns out that it didn't cost him nearly as much as anybody else would quote him if they'd even do the job. It's great to have the equipment and the resources, the knowledge base that the Stahls and Transfer Express has to share with us to build up our business, to make a lot of creative projects possible.
I am so excited to see where this continues to take you guys, and just so honored to be able to speak with you and get to connect again and just to be able to talk with you in this space. This is so cool. Anita, thank you so much for being on In Touch.
Sure. And anybody's welcome to get in touch with me and come in for a tour of the studio. And certainly, I hope you will be over soon.
I would love that. That would be great. I would have to stop by. That sounds
really
great.
fun. Yeah.
And all info and links will be in the description of this episode. So don't worry, that will be there right for all of you guys to check out.
Great. Thank you so much.
Of course.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Dan Stahl, Nora Callahan, and Anita Kiewra. Of course, all links and information can be found in the description of this episode. I've been your host, Connor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time.